It's time to start working on your sequel to your book, What Happened? What the hell happened?
Get someone on your tech staff to disable autofill on your iPhone so that typing an F doesn't become Form Exploratory Committee for 2020.
You know, on Anderson Cooper, you were telling him about alternate nostril breathing. You seem really adept. You should try teaching a class.
Take more photos in the woods. How else are you going to meet unsuspecting hikers?
Take up a new hobby in the new year. Volunteer work, knitting, improv comedy, literally anything that'll keep you from running again.
To finally put away your James Comey voodoo doll. Now, we all know you think that James Comey cost you the election, and he might have, but so did a handful of other things. It's a year later, and time to move on.
So cheers to you, Hillary Clinton.
Cheers to you, Hillary.
Cheers to you, Hillary Clinton.
As you can probably imagine, easily offended liberals were on Twitter with outrage, some calling the skit sexist. How do you do that? It's a woman suggesting knitting. We'll get into that. Actress Patricia Arquette particularly provoked, tweeting, quote, "Hey, stop telling women what the bleep they should do or can do. Get over your mommy issues." Unfortunately, Arquette and her fellow so-called feminists have been much less willing to come to the defense of First Lady Melania Trump after Newsweek posted this extremely misleading headline, quote, "Melania Trump orders removal of the near 200-year-old tree from the White House." Melania did, in fact, order the removal of the Jackson magnolia, but only on the advice of experts who fear that the tree could fall at any moment. Currently, because the facts matter here, it's relying on the support of a metal pole and intricate system of wires to keep it standing. Joining us now, former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino, who's probably been under this magnolia tree at some time, probably lounging on his afternoon off, and Fox News contributor Tomi Lahren. Good to see you both. Dan, by the way, have you been under the magnolia tree? Have you lounged?
I have, and I'm glad she took it down because it was about to fall down and maybe mow down all the people in the press corps. And listen, I'm no fan of the press, but I don't want a magnolia tree to fall on them. So thank you, Melania, for making the sound move. That was a good move, so thumbs up.
All right, so Tommy, you know, the tree hugger corps, they didn't consider that an arborist or someone who's an expert might have been consulted on this. And on top of this, from another point of view, I've gone up and down the Garden District in New Orleans and other parts of the country. They often trim these trees. They grow out. They become very heavy, narrow trunks. Hate to tell you folks, I pay attention to trees occasionally. But Tommy, this attack on the First Lady, vastly different by the triggered left and so-called feminine defenders.
Well, let's compare them. In the first, you have Vanity Fair making a joke about Hillary Clinton. In the second story, you have actual fake news that people are going to believe. So the two you cannot compare. But going back to that first thing, I am just so happy that the mainstream media, the leftist mainstream media, might I add, Vanity Fair, actually decided to make fun of Hillary Clinton. I give them some credit for that because they're not really quick to do that, and they're going to take some heat for it. But I applaud them. Finally, they're coming to their senses, and they got a sense of humor.
All right, so I got to have a sense of humor about this, guys, and I'm about to bring back something that'll make my Uncle Chuck very happy. Knitting, right? It's supposedly sexist because according to Vanity Fair and the woman who suggests knitting in the video, it's sexist to suggest that to Hillary Clinton. Men do knit, and here's Rosie Greer to prove that.
You like working with your hands? Well, they're not going to work for you without training and help. Well, you can get that training and help right now at the Job Corps. Now, I'm not talking about needlepoint. I'm talking about training in over 100 different well-paying skills and trades. And don't worry about people laughing at you. Get your training at the Job Corps.
Rosie, you're so smart.
I know.
All right, so whether it's knitting or it's needlepoint or what, look, I don't know the difference, but guys do it too. The whole point is I'm mocking them a little bit here because the idea that it's sexist and you're triggered, Dan, just because you use the word is where the left goes. They put us in boxes.
Yeah, David, a couple things. Number one, if you're going to put out a video like this and subject yourself to the far left social media mob and their outrage campaigns, make it funny. I'm sorry, it really wasn't that funny. It was kind of stupid. But secondly, yeah, I do applaud them, though, for finally, opening themselves up to humor on the other side. But remember, it was a joke, liberals. a joke. J-O-K-E. Or if Joe Biden was spelling it J-O-K-E-E. You get it? You see how we do that? It's a joke. Laugh a little bit. You know, do you have to be victims all the time? I get it. You can't leave your safe spaces and put your color forms down and your magic markers. But smile. Turn that frown upside down. Laugh a little bit. Not everything is Manichaean and is the end of the world. Gosh, these people are the worst.
All right, so Tomi, and you've taken a lot of heat in the media yourself as a conservative woman. You know, are they going to change their behavior, or is it really that far gone on the left that the so-called feminine defenders will not defend women first, but separate them by their political categories? And by the way, the First Lady, by all accounts, successful. She speaks 5 languages. She's accomplished. This is someone who should be a story.
Well, it's a very selective brand of feminism the left likes to use time and time again. Do I expect it to change? Absolutely not. But going back to the humor of the whole thing. Now, this is the left. This is a group of people, Kathy Griffin included, who thought it would be funny, thought it would be a joke to decapitate President Trump and pose for art. But now if we make fun of Hillary Clinton going in the woods or going to Whole Foods suddenly, that's below the belt, I'm sorry. I don't quite see it the way they do. I don't expect them to change, but I love triggering them because I just get really a kick out of it.
Well, we've definitely created several microaggressions right here for many on the left. I'm okay with that. All right, guys, let's look a little bit ahead to 2018. You know, the strategy seems to be, as Obama did, as liberals do, put everybody in boxes, tell them this is your interest, Dan, first to you. Is this successful strategy for them?
You know, it was in the past, David, when the Walter Cronkite, you know, Tom Brokaw era, when they had a monopoly over media. But the problem with the strategy that, in essence, is this. Don't vote for us. Vote against the Republicans because they hate you. That's the Democrats' motto and has always been their motto. The problem with that is as the monopoly starts to break down and information is disseminated through this channel that focuses on more fair and balanced stuff, you have, you know, Breitbart, Conservative Review, The Daily Caller. People are getting their information from different sources. So the short answer is no, it's not going to work in the future. Their information monopoly is breaking down and breaking down fast.
So, Tomi, to take that and go further, do the Democrats have another strategy in place going into 2018 and looking at the midterms?
They don't. They absolutely do not. Let's think about what they've done in 2017. They've protested. They've resisted. They voted against a tax break for 80% of Americans. Let's see. They voted to pardon illegal immigrants in California, or their leaders have decided to make those decisions. So they really have no platform. They have no agenda. All they want to do is resist. It's going to be really hard to win an election in 2018 or 2020 when the only thing that you have, the only thing you're promoting is identity politics and resistance. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is winning for all Americans. I'm really excited to see how these next elections are going to come out.
Dan, Tomi, great to see you. And